Welcome to the garage. Today I am doing some preventative maintenance on my daughter's new to her 2021 Subaru Crosstrek, getting it ready for a trek across the country. And today we're doing an oil change and a filter change. So this might be pretty common for folks, but if you're wondering exactly how to do it on a Crosstrek, I'll show you. Just stay tuned. So the first thing you want to do is get the vehicle up in the air. You can use ramps, you can use the jack that came with the car and with the spare tire, although that's kind of annoying, but that's what you got, that's what you got. I'm using a floor jack, and if you've got a big floor jack, you can use the center jacking plate underneath the car and not have to go on each side of the frame rails. But either way, get it up in the air, and if you're not using ramps, put jack stands on both sides under the frame rail, and that way you can get safely underneath it and start getting that oil drained. And if you're jacking two tires off the ground, it's always best to put something behind the rear wheels just to keep it chalk so it doesn't roll backwards on you. You obviously need a catch pan to catch the oil. You also need a funnel to put the oil back in the car. And then, of course, some tools like a 17mm socket. And I'll leave a link in the video description for all the parts and supplies I'm using, and also a list of all the tools. So under the car, the oil pan drain is straight to the back, and it's in the middle to the back underneath the plastic shielding, and you can see it here. It's got the blue paint on it from the factory, but it's really the only thing you can see inside this cutout in the plastic. You don't have to remove any of the plastic, and it's kind of in the middle of the car, kind of at the front of both of the front tires. You should be able to find it pretty easily, but you'll need a 17mm socket to unthread it. Just loosen it up, hold it in, push it in as you're backing it out, and then once you know it's fully released from the pan, kind of pull it away in a swift motion. Make sure your catch can's underneath it, of course, and you should be able to get everything into the pan. Don't drop the bolt, and just let it drain. And the bolt gets torqued on there to 32 foot-pounds, so if you're using a 3/8 inch drive ratchet, it'll probably take a little bit of strength to break it free. If you've got a 1/2 inch drive ratchet, or just a ratchet with a longer arm, that'll help you get it loose a bit easier. So while that drains, let's look at things a little bit more closely. We'll start over here. This is your dipstick for your checking your oil. You should already be familiar with that because I'm sure you check your oil regularly. This is our top mounted oil filter, and this is our fill cap. And I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'll just loosen it up. So that way air gets in there. Make sure that everything drains out. Taking a look at the drain plug, there's actually a flattened out washer that came out with it, which is right here. You need to remove that, throw it away, and replace it with a new one. Some people reuse them at least once. I don't think you can guarantee a good seal if you do that. You don't really want leaking oil. But you should have this on there, and you want to make sure that it either came off with the drain plug or it's still on the pan possibly, but it should come off with your drain plug. Just pull it off, and then here is your new one. And I don't know how easily you can tell, but one side is rounded, one side is flat. I think there's debate on which side officially needs to go up against the flat of the drain plug, but I just put flat against flat, just like that. Now it's installed. This is ready to get back put into the drain pan and torqued down to 32 foot-pounds once the oil is done draining. So coming under the hood into the engine bay, next thing we're going to do is remove the oil filter. It should have been installed only hand tight, but it might be a little bit tighter than you'll be able to get off by hand. So if you have a small strap wrench or a oil filter wrench, I recommend using that to break it loose, then unthread it by hand. Unfortunately, I don't have one small enough, and so I'm using a method I don't recommend, which is to use a large pair of pliers to break it free and then unthread it by hand. But I'll leave a link in the video description for a strap wrench that I would use for a filter this small. And you can see there's still some oil in the pan where the oil filter housing goes, so just clean that up with a couple of shop towels. When it comes to new oil filters, this is the one. Obviously, it's a new one. I'll leave a link in the video description. It's Subaru branded. It's the black oil filter. It's not the blue one. It's not the ones made in the US, which are made by Fram. This one is made in Indonesia. It's not made in Japan. You can see the part number here. AA20A is the end. The ones made in Japan end in AA160. You pay a lot for shipping for those. versus the ones made in Indonesia you can get locally or domestically in the US. This is the same part that came off of the Subaru, so this is what's getting installed at the dealerships, or at least the one where we bought this vehicle. It's got plastic covering the bottom. The whole thing's not wrapped in plastic like the blue filters, and it does come with the crush washer that you put on the drain plug as well. So you don't need to buy that crush washer separately. To install the oil filter, take the little plastic off the bottom, get a little bit of oil that's still in the bottom of the pan or out of your new oil supply, coat the gasket, and then just thread it on. You want to get it snug, and then just get it hand tight. Don't have to go totally Superman on it, but there, it's hand tight. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So the only thing now left to do is put oil in the car. The owner's manual says you need 4.4 quarts for a drain and oil filter replacement. I'm going to put 4 quarts into it, then put the car back on the ground. I'm going to do a clear flood mode crank on it, and I'll show you that to get oil running through the filter. We'll check the oil level, then I'll start the car, let it run for a minute or so, turn the car off, let it sit for a little bit, check the oil level, and then top it off. And I'm using Valvoline Full Synthetic 0W20 motor oil, and that's also what's printed on the oil fill cap is 0W20. It's also what's in the owner's manual, so that's what I am using. By the way, if you didn't know, you can actually have your hood up pretty high on the Crosstrek, and I assume most of these newer Subarus, and that's because the hood actually has 2 positions for the prop rod. This one, I don't know if you can read it, but this is the service position, and then this is where you put it up. So if you're just checking under the hood, you can prop it up here, but then if you want to prop it up even further, you can use a prop rod in this hole right here. It's pretty cool. It's almost as good as the Jeep where you can just flop the hood completely back. The car's back on the ground and the filter's on, the oil is in about 4 quarts. So now I'm going to do a clear flood mode crank, and that's going to run oil through the engine and the filter and not try to start the engine. So this is a push start car. And with the push start car, I'm going to push the brake so the car would want to start. And then I'm going to push the gas all the way down. Now push the button to start the car, and it'll run the engine until I push the button again. And so I let it run for about 5 seconds. And obviously it didn't start the engine. It just cycled through. So now I've got foot off the brake, foot off the gas. Now I'm going to push the brake, and it's going to start the car. All right, I let it run for about 10 seconds or so, and now I'm going to let it sit for a minute, and then I'll check the oil level. So now we'll just check the oil level on the dipstick, and it'll probably be lower than full. So then just add more oil, let the car sit for a couple minutes for it to drain down into the oil pan, check the oil level again until you're right at that full mark, and that's it, you're done. You can update your maintenance schedule for doing this again in 6,000 miles or 6 months. You can change the oil, the maintenance schedule inside the car if you want to. Check your owner's manual for that. And don't forget to recycle your oil and your old filter. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. I'll do the best I can to answer them. And thanks for watching. Hopefully the video's been helpful. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff to help keep this channel moving forward. Thanks again. Y'all take care and have a good one.